I'm here, just looking at some code. Why I have the Blade Runner music playing, I don't know, but I knew that I didn't feel like being on camera because it's late on Saturday night. But I am committed to the daily vlog. So figured I would take some time to just look at some code. If you're interested in this project, self-tracking for workers, we really love WeClock and our partners who help us work on it. It's a self-tracking app, but not for your fitness. Well, the fitness of your workday, I guess, and trying to help you find ways to understand how much you're working, where you're working, how much you're on your feet, you're sitting, allowing you a way to journal throughout the day, capture information, all with sort of timing and GPS. And on iPhone, link to an Apple Watch. So you can get more data from that, and you can track your commute. And what's important is sibilance on there. What's important is all the data stays on your device until you choose to share it. There's no proprietary servers, there's no proprietary data formats. Just captures it, summarizes it, and creates easy to parse CSV data that anyone can inject into a data science tool, data visualization, analysis, spreadsheets, and pull that data together with other workers to create the opportunity to find shared struggles and insight and opportunity for campaigns and improving their work conditions. And of course it's all open source, so you can see here the Android code. There's a bunch of interesting ideas in here. One of the ideas that's interesting is if you look under assets, you'll see a studies.json. And all of the things in the application that we do, like daily movement, locations and distance, environmental tracking, work journal, work app usage, commute time. These are all studies that are configured by this JSON file. We have it in Spanish. We have it in Dutch. And you can load the idea that at some point, and it's in there basically, that you could load your own set of studies and configure them and which sensors they use. So a study has, let's see, a name, description, an icon, but also does it use geodata? Does it track apps? Does it have activity tracking like walking? Does it have screen on or battery? Does it have environmental tracking like sound and heat, etc.? So we wanted to make this a modular thing that people could use WeClock as a framework for work-oriented self-tracking studies and easily customize what you're tracking and why. Now, turns out there isn't a lot of people that want to do that. They just want to use WeClock as it is and get the data. But we're glad that we built that modularity in, because we think it will still come at some point, and that we can always offer that as part of white labeling services. Might have heard me yawn because it's kind of late. But so is the daily vlog life. Another interesting thing to look at is our sensors package. Sensors. I have to say sensors because censor. Well, I work in censorship, anti-censorship. But we also work with sensors for gathering your own data. So it's kind of funny, sensors. I don't know. But anyhow, in here you'll find some of the ways we track using sensors on the device, like the accelerometer. And that code's in there. And we have an on sensor change, and there's a callback for logging the event. App usage is another one, so we know which app you're using and how long. Again, we don't know, you know. I always say we, but you know. Sound is another one, so there's all this custom logic for each sensor you're measuring and how, and then that can get logged. Step counter is another one. So do have a good lock screen implemented and pin code and things like that to protect your data. You know, going back to the idea of this study, if you look at the way we create a data model around studies and study events. This ties into the JSON configuration I was mentioning before. Different event types. All of this is still in Java. Probably time to convert it to Kotlin. We're doing an update, so I think we're going to be doing that. I've been pretty happy with Kotlin and moving a bunch of our apps to it. I still feel like a lot of the efficiencies or sophistication that Kotlin claims is I don't know, kind of an overstatement. I mean, it's a style thing more. It's just a different style. And I think the lambdas are really cool, and some of the other ways you interact with threads. Once you get it, you know, with the coroutines and lambdas and all of that is pretty interesting. So trying to take advantage of those as best as possible. But yeah, a lot of our code goes back, you know, 10 years. This is a few years. It's time to update. Someone wanted us to build this in React Native or a true cross-platform environment. We do have an iOS app built in Swift. This, you know, maybe this is an app we could do there. I'm not sure with all of the custom, you know, sensor and wearable integration, but could be done. Love to do this as a web app. Mobile web. I think that might also be possible. I don't know if there's anything else interesting in here. This is just all the stuff we do. I mean, that allows people to navigate the study. And the reason I'm cracking this code open is we've been working on an addition to add really straightforward kind of start-stop of time tracking, commuting, kind of more manual functions instead of some of the automated ones, because there's people that just want to say, I'm working now, I'm not working now. And we have a partner who's interested in making sure that happens, and we're getting that done for them. So One of the interesting bits of code that we worked on in a few cases was the idea of using geofencing. There's a core idea in the app that we want to know. You want to know, again, man, why do I keep saying we? You want to know when you leave home and when you enter work and how long you're at work and when you leave work and when you get back to home. This is so that you can understand, your commute and how long you spend at the office. And we thought, well, instead of monitoring your GPS location all the time, we can use the magic of geofencing, where you define a boundary and then the operating system is supposed to tell you when you cross that boundary. And Google, through Google Magic and Google Play Service Magic, is supposed to, make this all quite easy for you. I think it did work in most cases, but for some reason it just wasn't reliable. And having someone define a proper geofence for like their office is really hard. So it's not a precise thing. Maybe you're not supposed to use it that way. And instead we decided that we would log, more ongoing data, and then that could trigger the commute based on knowing roughly where your home is and where your office is, and then defining some sort of boundary, a radius around it. So we had to play with that a bit. Geofencing is still really interesting, and we still have the code, and there's cases where we are trying to use it. So it's also interesting to monitor things like screens going off and on, what you can do there, or which app is in the foreground, to measure app time, and really got into a lot of interesting code that teaches you a lot about how the operating system works and what permissions you have, or, so the app usage monitor. Well, this is a different one, but in some cases we check when the screen is on what app is in the foreground. It tells us that. So, and then different things happen if you're at home or you're at work. So there's a bunch of factors that start combining depending on where you are, what you're doing, and the sensor, and what we, and our goal is to really try to be careful about what we're logging in when, and make, if you're at home, we don't want to log as much, but at the same time, people say, well, I do want my work app usage tracked at home, but we don't necessarily want to track when, all your movement while you're at home. We just want to know when you leave your home and start commuting to work. So these are some of the considerations we make for that. So, well, this music is making me sleepy. Kind of an ASMR video, I guess. Maybe it's making you sleepy. Maybe we should all go to sleep. It's pretty late, but I am proud that I got in my day 4 daily vlog. Maybe I should just be weekdays. We'll see. I'm going to be sharing the duty here as well. It's not just going to be me, but I'm getting it going. All right. Well, if you're interested in that, please check out WeClock.it. Let's see, I'll put up the website here. WeClock. All right. Check out the apps, check out the code, get in touch. Got a lot going on and more coming soon. So, good night. Take care.